chair recognizes Senator Uresti on a motion to suspend the Senate's regular order of business on committee substitute to House Bill 7.
Thank you, Mr. President. Members, good evening. The committee substitute for House Bill 7 is a bipartisan compromise which impacts nearly every aspect of a suit involving a parent-child relationship. I want to start off first by thanking Representative Wu, who helped draft this piece of legislation. Of course, Senator Schwartner and his staff as well in helping us to refine the bill. Senator Nelson for helping us with the fiscal note, and of course Carmen Gaddis in my office. Members, the bill addresses some of the constitutional problems highlighted in the recent order for the children's rights lawsuit, issues raised by parent representatives, and also recurring problems identified by child welfare advocates. Much of the language in House Bill 7 has been carefully crafted to strike a balance to ensure that DFPS is able to remove children from truly dangerous situations while still ensuring that all parents retain their rights to due process and speedy resolutions. There are some excellent points in the bill. Among other things, the bill requires DFPS to improve its coordination and communication with other state agencies, medical providers, and families to better improve services to children in foster care. It ensures that the people trusted to represent the best interests of the children in the CPS system are able to carry out their duties. It picks up portions of Senate Bill 738 by Senator Kolkhorst to streamline the transfer of cases from one jurisdiction to another. It ensures that families, both foster and biological, are treated fairly by the courts. And it repeatedly encourages DFPS to look for appropriate kinship placement, Senator West. The piece of this legislation that I believe is the most important issue that we are addressing, Senator Schwartner, is that before DFPS can place a child in an inpatient mental health facility, DFPS must have a physician document and confirm that the child has a serious mental illness and presents a risk of serious harm. Our kids should not be placed to languish in any of these facilities. Members, there will be 3 amendments to correct drafting errors, and Senator Schwartner will also offer an amendment, and Senator Menendez as well. With that, Mr. President, I move to suspend the regular order of business to take up and consider committee substitute to House Bill 7.
Senator Watson, for what purpose do you rise?
Question or two of the author.
Does the senator yield?
Definitely.
He yields.
Thank you. What I want to really say in asking you questions is to point out how much work has gone into this. We've talked from the very beginning of this session, and actually before the session started, about different things we needed to do to improve the system of for the children that we're taking care of as a state. And I want to congratulate you, and I want to say thank you. This is a very big, heavy bill, so thank you for what you've done on it. And I agree with you as you work through the bill. There's a couple of things that you said that I agree with. One is that it solves a lot of the constitutional problems, including issues that were brought up by the federal court in the case where our system has been declared unconstitutional. The question I want to ask you is with regard to the allowing counsel for all of the children throughout the process. This bill doesn't do that. Is that right?
No, Senator Watson. It was, as you know, it was in the original draft of the bill by Representative Wu. There were some concerns about the cost to the counties, that it would perhaps be an unfunded mandate to our counties throughout Texas. And so the decision was made to take that language out of the bill.
Well, and I get that, and I understand. I know what the discussion was. But one of the things that Judge Jack found in that court case is that this impacts liberty of these kids. And in her findings, she has indicated that the state may be faced with, or will be faced, I guess, based upon her finding, with making sure that these children have an attorney throughout the process. We've made the decision here, because that cost is usually picked up not by the state, but by the counties. we've made the decision not to go forward with that because we didn't want to put that burden as an unfunded mandate on the counties. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
But you agree that in doing this, the best practice would be to have counsel for these children all the way through the process.
Senator Watson, you're absolutely correct. I agree with you, and I do want to say, one, I appreciate the work that you offered and put into this bill as well, and also the whole committee. I think our committee, the Health and Human Services Committee, again in a bipartisan manner, contributed so much to this bill and others. But to your point specifically, yes, I agree with you.
Okay. Well, that's what I wanted just to focus on. And by the way, I want to underline what you just said. With the leadership of the chairman, this committee, everybody participated in trying to make improvements in the Child Protective Service system this session, and I'm very thankful to the members of the committee. You're right, there was no partisanship, there was no ideology, if you will. It was what can we do to make things better. So thank you for your good work on this. I appreciate it, but I did want to highlight that one point.
You're welcome, Senator Watson. I do want to say there will be an amendment that I will offer, amendment number 3, that deals with the attorney ad litems and with regard to what their responsibilities need to be going forward, which, as you know, they need to step it up, essentially. Thank you.
Senator Schwartner, for what purpose do you rise?
You ask questions of the author?
Senator Yield.
Yes, I do.
He yields.
Thank you, Mr. President, and thank you, Sen Uresti. I want to recognize your long-standing commitment to child welfare issues and your leadership in the House when you were in the House as chair of the Human Services. This is something that you have very deep and unwavering care about, and I am very honored to have worked with you on the Health and Human Services Commission. This, members, is just one of a package of bills that, in conjunction with the budget, I think are significant advancements in child welfare in Texas. This is a heavy bill, and we did get it over basically last week. And I want to commend you and your staff working with the other members of the committee and their staff to refine the portions of the bill and give it kind of an input that I think was needed from a Senate perspective, and how it mirrored and keyed in with Senate Bill 11 as well as HB 4 and 5. So there's one little section just for legislative intent, Senator, that I did want to bring up. And I think you spoke on it when you first started to lay out the bill, and that was regarding, unfortunately, those children that have severe mental health needs that are placed in psychiatric care facilities, mental hospitals, and it's difficult to get them out. It's hard to find a placement for them. But the intent is that we need to make sure that if a child needs mental health care, that they get that care, and at the same time that they don't languish in a mental hospital. But we need to do that in conjunction with not just the agency working and the case workers, but also, of course, with those mental health professionals. So I believe, that is the intent of the bill and your intent, that any decisions made regarding the mental health needs of that child would be in conjunction, obviously, with the mental health professionals that are part of the care team for that child.
Absolutely, Senator Schwartner, and I think, again, that's one of the best components of this bill is what we're doing with regards to those children that are being placed there because they were difficult to place elsewhere, and unfortunately they were being placed in these facilities, which is something we should not have been doing. But this piece of legislation will fix that, and to your point, again, specifically, that is the intent of this bill. They need to have a physician document and confirm that they do have that mental illness before they're admitted, and then not just left there. A doctor needs to continue to treat and meet with that child, and then at the appropriate time, hopefully as soon as possible, that child is released from that facility.
Thank you, Senator. And just again to reiterate, the issues of investigations and foster care capacity and kinship payments and the authority and the ability to change and swiftly adapt to issues with the department now being a separate department, with kinship payments being enhanced, with the restructuring of the agency through HB 7 as well as Senate Bill 11, with the new way of hopefully providing enhanced foster care in a region through community-based care. And of course, with what we did in the budget, I really look forward to seeing the fruits of our work this session regarding child welfare and CPS. So with that, I will have an amendment too, of course, Senator, and we'll talk about that when the time arises.
Well,
Thank
Senator Schwartner, as Senator Watson said, and I'll echo what he said, under your leadership and with the help of Chair Nelson, with regard to finding the money for the overall goal of helping our children in Senate Bill 11, this is one final piece, I think, to the puzzle, and we're hopefully, as I said, when we pass Senate Bill 11, I think, one, hopefully, I shouldn't say hopefully, I know we're going to make a difference in these children's lives, and two, this will be a historic session when it comes to DFPS and CPS, and what this body in a bipartisan manner has done for our kids. So thank you for your leadership.
you.